on the buildings with the biggest, most precise fitting blocks. Yeah, here you can see the dents, the knobs, stuff like that. Yes, I continue?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so these are some comparisons between what they call fort, and I want you to look at like especially the bottom part here, which are like these more irregularly shaped blocks, and then stuff on top, stuff on top. Okay, so yeah, here you can see the knobs are at the same place. Fort is made out of a type of granite. And this is the comparison with Ollantaytambo. What I want to say is, I think is an important thing to mention. When you go outside of ancient Egypt and you go outside of the Americas, steel was invented in, I think, Sri Lanka or the south of India 300 years before Christ. And with steel, I've had a steel chisel in my hand. It's a mighty thing to behold. You just like do this, so you can smash any rock. That's like power. And with that, you can just have a workforce of thousands of men ready to smash stuff. And there are plenty of to be found. You can make like a crazy precision buildings with hard stones. So if you look outside of these places, you should also always have in mind that like the top here could just be made by like the more recent civilizations, stuff like that. Yeah, more fort comparison with like Machu Picchu and the Assyrian. What you can see is that here, yeah, the same thing, the same stone, the same shape, the same location of the dents. Yeah, here again an example. This is Sochi in Russia, and it's often called the dolmens of Sochi in Russia, but they're not dolmens like our Western European dolmens because of one thing, and that is the precision. The precision of these stones is like very high, and they're huge. They're huge stones. They weigh in excess of 10 tons, and they're little houses, like they build little houses. With a small hole, I don't know if it will fit through. I don't know why they built it. I have no clue. But there's high precision fitting stones here. It's the only thing you can find in the area. And here too, we find the knobs on the walls that go with the stones. It's the same puffiness of the stones as subscibe or Ollantaytambo. And here we can see a stone outcrop near Sochi, Russia, and you can see like the stones were like cut out in a way or something, like it was a quarry. I don't know if it was a quarry, but it's exactly the same thing as you can see in a lot of places in Peru. Here you can see a part that's been cut out too. Here's some more examples: Sochi and subscibe. You can see the knobs. You can see the way the stones are shaped. Here's more of the outcrop compared with the outcrop in Peru. And there's also a place in Greece, or some places in Greece, where you can find the knobs. There's near, I think, Delphi, and it's like where the oracle, like the oracle legend, comes from. And there you can see, yeah, the knobs in the plateau that the structure was built on. The Arcadian Gate in Messenia, Greece, also has these knobs, and you can compare it with, yeah, for instance, the Sun Temple of Ollantaytambo. There are some places in the Middle East that also have, yeah, again, it's this megalithic, precisely fitting architecture, the most precise and the most megalithic in the area, that have these knobs. And yeah, the other side of this gate, I had a picture, but I don't know why I didn't put it in the slides, that also have dents in a block. So what are these observations again? Well, it's less abundant than in Egypt and Peru. And it's also not the biggest and the most precise. And I don't see any scoop marks. But it's in these areas the biggest and most precise, and the knobs and dents are there. So actually I can kind of see two threads in this. I don't know how they're related. Maybe they're not related. I would think so in a way, but how, I don't know. Like the biggest and most precise in Egypt and Peru, where you can see the scoop marks also. And India and Greece in the Middle East, where you see also the most precise megalithic buildings with scoop marks, or non-scoop marks, dents, and protrusions, like things, knobs sticking out. Okay, so what if there is a culture of highly advanced masons? Or what else do I see? What else anomalies are there within with structures? And one of the most interesting sites is Pumapunku. It's near Teotihuacan, Tiwanaku. I don't know exactly. I forgot. Pumapunku. It's on the border of Bolivia and near Lake Titicaca. Yes. And here you see different types of stones: sandstone, but also andesite, worked to extremely high precision. Super flat, super sharp edges, and I showed it to students of mine, and one student immediately said, like, how are you going to get through in this small edge with the stone? How are you going to get there? And that's exactly the point. And this must be crazy amount of work, and even if you can get there, you need a lot of force to break andesite stone. You can have a hard stone with which you can break it, and with a sharp point, but you need a lot of force. And if you make one mistake, you're going to have to do the entire edge again. This is also an interesting thing. It's drill holes, tiny drill holes, and they're spaced exactly as far apart, and also this really thin straight line. It's strange. It's really strange if you think they did this all with copper tools and river cobbles. Drill holes. This is in Saqqara in Egypt, and it's a underground tunnel with side chambers. And in these side chambers there are granite boxes. You could call them sarcophagi, but they are not, because they are too big. You can stand in them. They're 2 meters wide and 3 meters long, or something like that. Here you can see the dimensions. The boxes itself weigh 80 tons, so it's 80,000 kilograms, and the lid weighs 20,000 kilograms. The precision is mind-boggling, like the perfectly flat surfaces. Gray granite is a type of granite, or basalt. I'm not entirely sure anymore. Both are really hard.
And they did it with bronze.
They did it with bronze tools and copper chisels and stone cobbles. And and the thing is, like, you can see this like weird air bubbles in them, and you wonder, did they polish them, or was there some other process that made the surfaces flat like this? Because apparently they polished the bubbles. I would polish the bubbles, by the way. Okay. Elephantine Island, also a place, high precision in Egypt. It's one big trashed megalithic site. So this is just like one block that is still, but the rest is all this. And some other stuff is still. But here you can also see high precision. Yeah. The granite chambers of the pyramids. These blocks weigh 3 tons, 5 tons, something like that. Rose granite, perfectly fitting. There are small shafts that are like this big, and they go all the way up in a straight line. And I don't know how they did that. It's just, they go diagonally up, but in a straight line. This is the sarcophagus in the granite chamber. This is the Giza Plateau, and I like to point at this because this must have been magical. When like the pyramids were like just built, and whenever that was, by whomever that was, they all were like fully encased with these perfectly fitting flat casing stones, and then the entire Giza Plateau was made out of these thick basalt plates, like totally flat. Like that would have been like, oh, that's a crazy place to be, you know. Yeah, what you can see in these plateaux, there are marks that show that there were saws and drills. And with a copper drill and enough time and sand and lots of people and lots of effort, you can make this drill hole. You can make this drill hole. And what is said about these, I don't know the specifics of it, is that the grooves show that the type of material used to cut the stones was really hard, and the grooves are further spaced from each other than in our modern equipment. That's what's being said about it. I don't know the exact details of it, but I like to use this, that it was not brute pounding. These are some. This is a place in Cusco called the Coricancha, and it's one of the. I think the only place where I can see such small stones, small like being like this, here, and then this is the same structure, but this is more like a corner, and here the stones are somewhat bigger. You can see the same knobs. This is super high precision. This is some sort of a false doorway. Where you can see like drill holes and the extreme precision. This is one of the outcrops of igneous rock. Igneous rock is just like a rock that's created by a lava flow. It really doesn't matter. It could be sedimentary rock as well. You have this in any type of rock. You see these kind of strange marks. Some say they are quarry marks. Others say something else has happened, but this is a stone outcrop, and these shapes are to be found in it. This is all around Cusco. Here you can see, I think it was last time I looked it up, it was diorite. It's a really hard type of igneous or metamorphous rock, which are hard rock types, and you can see like that it's like very precisely cut. These things are also known as Inca thrones. I don't really like the theory because they're like these shapes are too miscellaneous to be just thrones, and you wonder if it's that much work to cut stuff like this. Why do it? Why make it that precise? What's the point? An interesting thing to see is that the texture of this is very shiny. And I want to point to that more. This is like what they called an Inca throne. This is just a rock that's been I don't know, have the rocks been scooped out like this or something? Yeah. I don't know what exactly happened. It looks like that. This is Jan Peter de Jong. I want to credit a part of my talk to him because without his work I couldn't provide some information that will follow. I will credit him a couple of times more because I think credit is due where it should. This is also. This is it also, and I just want to, go maybe on Facebook and show like really quickly go to like some photos.
Where is this?
This is also near Cusco. Yeah. Let's see if it works. But no, not now. Do I have to click it? Ah. Yeah, this is also like just one place. Where you can see how like the rock is shaped, and I'm like, what for? Like the strange protuberances, knobs. I don't know what it's about. I think it has something to do with the process, whatever process it is. Yeah, so I think this was it. Yeah, so the idea that this was like done with these river cobbles and stuff like that is really difficult for me because it's so miscellaneous. And why would you take the trouble of like making these perfect shapes if it's a lot of work?
Miscellaneous is Mussolini?
And miscellaneous is
Oh,
just random. So yeah, this is where I credit what's he called, Jan Peter de Jong. He has made a documentary called The Cosmogony of the Three Worlds. It's a theory that he made together, or a documentary that he made together with Jesus Camara, which is like a local guy there who spent lots of time there, and yeah, they incorporate like indigenous lore about the world like being destroyed or being reformed a couple of times, and they have theory that like gravity was different, and I just have difficulty accepting that. But the research that they did is very useful because they were pretty from well, let's see where it goes, you know, let's see where exactly it goes, and they have these are these are demonstrations of these are demonstrations of molding. But first I want to say something about this. What we saw was strange and precise shapes in really hard stones, and it would seem that they had little effort cutting them, and just for fun, let's cut this stone in and put it a little. You have really strange ones. These were like the more regular ones. You have some sort of clock type of thing, and you have like rounds, and you'll see more in the
show off a little
molding demonstration. This I kind of ripped from my, so I don't know if this is gonna work. Hey, mooi.
Je bent een presentation man.
Je zit niet in de
Ja.
presentatie. Hè?
Nee.
I'm not in a presentation?
Nee, je zit op het scherm wat hij daarnaast houdt eigenlijk. Hij zit in, ja, ik weet niet hoe je dat noemt.
Think so?
Je zit in de presentatie.
Yeah. Right? No.
Hij zit vast.
No, it is not. It should work. It's vital to my story.
Nee, die weergave instelling volgens mij. Die voorstelling, nee, die staat aan. Ja. Maar het is niet fullscreen. Nee.
Nee.
Maar kijk, hij loopt wel
Oh,
op
ja.
3222. Dus.
Nee.
Full screen. Nee?
En als je dat ronde pijltje werkt, linksbovenin, naast je pauzeknop, dat je hem even
Oh. Stress.
Volgens mij heb je, als je terug gaat bij net wat scherm, dan heb je 2 PowerPoint icoontjes als het goed is.
bij je